Yeah, it's Tom. Just a small talk. Been watching umpteen videos. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube. Some of them are some of them aren't so good. Some of them are great. Now I watched some preppers, and I watched what they were putting together for their preps and stuff. And I thought to myself, that you can go out and you can buy 18 boxes of, say, Johnson and Johnson bandages. What's going to happen when they run out? They will eventually. I've had bandages here long enough to where the glue has gotten bad on them because I just never used them. What are you going to do then? Different medicines, cold and flu medicines, cough medicines, cough drops, such and such and such. Eventually, they all lose strength. Eventually, they all expire and they're no good. Now, some of them have an expiration date of just say, tomorrow, and they're good for the next 8 months. Yeah, but some of them actually get dangerous when they expire. Can't tell you what they are. I'm just telling you I know they're out there. Now, for me, if I was prepping for the SHFT, whatever it is, I would never buy a Band-Aid. I would never buy any expiring things. What I would buy is them things for barter. And of course, your immediate, I cut my finger yesterday and I need a bandage. Yeah, I'd keep a box around, but I mean, don't stock up on them because if they expire or whatever, what I would do is buy a book and learn the skills to use modern, ancient methods. What that means is learn how to use the methods from Depression days, back in the 1800s and stuff, to treat a wound, but the modern version of it. Because, they use different plants back there, different names for plants back them days than we do now at times. So, it's like pine sap. That's what I've always used for cuts. Slap some pine sap to it, rub it in until it creates a barrier, and it's not only got some antibiotic properties, but it stops the wound up. Mullein leaves, mullein, however you want to pronounce it. They're great for big wound bandages. So that's the kind of stuff I would do. I use it today. I make plantain salve, goldenrod salve, and a couple other different things. I get a cut, or this boil I complained about on my arm. I covered that with the plantain. It drew the boil out eventually, but it killed the pain, which plantain salve will kill the pain, especially on a rash or abrasion or something like that. So I wouldn't go buying and stocking up on a whole lot of medical stuff. Excuse me. Now I see guys carrying medical kits that you could go out on a trauma with. Not a bad idea, I guess. But if you learned other skills, you could leave that gigantic medical kit at home Make room for other stuff like food, water. You know. I don't carry hardly any medical on me at all. I carry a couple of band-aids, some ointment, and a piece of 550 paracord I tied into a tourniquet. The cap tourniquets are great. They're cheap. Everybody should have one in their kit. But learn how to use them. I heard one video here not too long ago where a person was talking about leaving a tourniquet on for 2 hours. You're going to lose a limb if you do that. If I'm not mistaken, the old adage was 10 to 15 minutes, and then you had to loosen it up, let some blood flow, 10 to 15 minutes to get some blood flowing into the, you severed your wrist, let's just say. You need to get some blood into your hand so that your hand will work. So, be careful of that too. Learn how to use these things. One of the greatest things I've run into in a long time is a SAM splint. They'll conform to anything, but you can use them for other things, like a pad for your belt, a pad for your back on your pack. A million different uses for that bendable splint. So learn how to use the stuff. I had a series of videos years ago called Prep for the Preps. And that's what it was about. Are you prepped for your prep? Do you know how to use it? And I see a lot of people out there now that's prepping. I'm not saying they're doing bad. That's just my opinion, whether they are or they aren't. I see a lot of people out there now that's prepping, and they're talking about Mountain House meals and this meal. If you eat a lot of Mountain House, plan on taking some blood pressure medicine with you, because that sodium and that stuff will kill you. Or on the other hand, if you took a big bag of cornmeal, you could make multiple meals out of it. And it's just about as quick as a Mountain House meal. Of course, you wouldn't have all that luscious, lasagna and ice cream and all that stuff, but food's food. Me, myself, just in case nobody's heard, I prep for natural disasters. I prep for 1 week to a month. Natural disasters. Just recently here we had an ice storm that knocked our power out for a day and a half. Now in my old house it would be okay, carry out the kerosene heaters, fill them up, the house is 90 degrees in 2 hours, and life goes on. Here it's all electric and I'm not allowed to use any kind of space heaters. So in that case, now you're going to have to look at some good blankets to keep yourself going as far as warmth. You're also going to have to look at some solar powered stuff to keep lights in the house. I'm also going to have to look at getting a small generator just to keep the refrigerator running. I'm not worried about anything else, but I don't want the food to go bad. Now the stove is electric, but I'm not allowed to use like a camp stove outside or inside. Just put it that way. So get some MREs. A can of Chef Boyardee can be eaten cold, and that is a meal ready to eat. Fruits, vegetables, stuff like that have a shelf life that you can eat raw. The wife made a great salad. Didn't have to cook it. So them are the kind of things that I just wanted to have this talk about, that you got to realize that I see guys carrying suture kits. You don't need a suture kit. You just need to learn how to make butterfly bandages. Maybe we'll cover that on another video. But butterfly bandage will get you just as far as any suture kit. Gorilla tape. Carry a roll of Gorilla tape, the 1 inch and the 3 inch. So I'll tell you why. Gorilla tape will cover everything from a stitch to big wound coverage to a tourniquet. If you roll Gorilla tape up, that stuff is strong enough to where you can actually use it as a tourniquet. So there's a lot of things out there that personally myself I would say stop buying and start learning. Just my opinion. So hey, this is Tom. Well, thank you for your time and your patience. Don't forget to share this video out, and we will see you guys on the next one. You guys are way over here. What am I doing over here? Bye.